right, I'm going to the west side. Well, I'm not going deep into the west side. I'm going to the near west side. I'm getting close to downtown, as you can see. But I'm thinking about this upcoming teacher strike. Well, hopefully by the time, well, I don't know when this show going to air, but the teachers talking about having a strike. Karen Lewis, CTU president, talking about striking. And hey, I ain't nothing for it, I'm not against it. That's White Sox Park. It's a game going on evidently. Maybe the game is starting. There's the White Sox. You know, they won the World Series in '05. Love the White Sox. Although I ain't got no money to go to the game. I got money to go to the game. I don't have money to. I got to go to at least one game. I don't care what it costs. I got to go to one game. They may go to the World Series this year. They're playing pretty good. If Detroit don't beat them, they're going. All right. Close to downtown. Let me get near the west side, and maybe I'll talk about Karen Lewis, John Clark Brazard, Mayor Rahm Emanuel, and the public schools here in Chicago. That's right, y'all. Sweet home Chicago. Sweet home Chicago. Quite on the near west side because I had to get off the expressway with just way too many people. Traffic's bad. I'm over here on 18th Street on Sangamon. Now I forgot what back in the day it was an ethnic European neighborhood, but I forgot who was here. Lithuanian, maybe not Lithuanians, but somebody was here. But now it's all Latino. It was ethnic Euros, Anglos, if you will. They used to live in this old neighborhood, but it's pretty much all Latino now. Like a lot of Chicago is all Latino, mainly Mexican, and I ain't mad at them. I know a lot of African Americans. I'll get back to the public schools in a minute, but a lot of African Americans are upset. Not a lot of them. I've talked to a few people. They upset because they say the Latinos are taking over, the Mexicans are taking over, the Mexicans are taking over Chicago. And I said, calm down. Many of these neighborhoods used to be all white, and then we took over a lot of neighborhoods. It's okay. A lot of African Americans in many parts of America are leaving the city. Even Atlanta, Georgia. People moving out of the city of Atlanta, Georgia. That was on C-SPAN recently. And they move into the suburbs. Because poor people can move to the suburbs now for a lot of different reasons. They don't want to live in the city for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes the city is either high crime or it's being gentrified. One of the two. Either very high crime or being gentrified. And so even poor black folks moving out of urban America. I mean, in the cities of America. Like Chicago. Chicago's probably going to lose another 100,000 African Americans at the least. Maybe 200,000 in the next 10 or 15, 20 years. Another 10 years, at least another 100,000. Minimum. Oh man, the bridge. This is Racine. Racine Bridge is out. I don't know where I'm going now. I think I'm going to go to Loomis. I think this is the Pilsen neighborhood. Please forgive me for not knowing all my 72 or 82 neighborhoods in Chicago. I don't know them all. But, here we is. Yeah, I didn't have to go this way, but I did. I'm on Blue Island Street, which take you, if I went back south, I'd run into Juarez High School. But I'm going back toward downtown to get back to Racine, and I'm going to matriculate to the west side. This is a police building. They got to put up a lot of police stations. They all look alike, same floor plan, same building. And UIC College, the University of Illinois at Chicago is where it is out there, straight ahead. Now that turned already. Hi, I'm going up to near Taylor Street, which was the old traditional Italian neighborhood. They got a really cool, if you ever come through here on Taylor Street, they got a really cool Italian-American sports hall of fame on Taylor Street. You would think the African Americans would have one, but we would get to arguing. And if somebody else, another ethnic group, put one up, we're going to be mad. Or if once one group of African Americans put up the African American Hall of Fame, it should be at the DeSable Museum or something connected to the DeSable Museum. I've told them this years ago. They don't listen to me because I'm one person. But if we put the African American Sports Hall of Fame here in Chicago, we would get to arguing. Because that's how we are. We don't like each other. We were taught to be slaves, as slaves, to distrust each other. Slaves. We on Racine, about to jump on this is the UIC Pavilion. UIC Pavilion has been at Racine and Harrison since the 1980s. It's UIC at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Okay. You know what? I may not. I got an apartment on the west side, but I got a few minutes to roll through some of the near west side. I'm on what they call the West Loop now. This was all like industrial area and whatnot. And then they started building all these condominiums and lofts and stuff. It's pretty cool. Condominiums and lofts. And it's a very nice place to live now. Got bars and restaurants and really, really nice. As you can see downtown in the distance. I may not even get back to my original talk about the looming teacher strike here in Chicago with Karen Lewis versus Rahm Emanuel. I'm going to tell you he's going to win that one. I got news for you. Rahm Emanuel's going to win that one. Trust me. Even if he cuts the deal, even if he backs down a little bit, he's going to still win because the teachers are, I'm not saying they don't deserve a raise, but they ought to, you know, hey, they not improving public education. They more concerned about their jobs versus teaching, because the best way to improve schools, you got to improve the parents. The schools ain't never really going to improve if you got a certain amount of parents that are not really. I had a little tight turn I had to make over here, so I'm coming up to Harpo Studios. I'm saying the schools are never going to improve. They only can improve so much because they're only as good as the teachers and not the teachers too, but the parents. It's only as good as the parents and the students that they get. Here's Harpo over here on Carpenter. Where are we at? Carpenter, and I'm up here running my mouth. Okay, I got to concentrate. Washington and Carpenter, Harpo Studios. Yeah, Oprah's gone, but I think she rented out the studio for let some folks, so she still making a little money and she rent the studio out. See, they got a lot of cool restaurants and stuff. See, down the street down here is the Girl and the Goat. The Girl and the Goat is some restaurant. They got a lot of other cool restaurants in this little warehouse-looking neighborhood. They call it West Loop and whatnot. It's gotten so popular, they actually built a new train station on Morgan. They built a new train station on Morgan because this West Loop has gotten so popular. See, as African Americans are fleeing Chicago, moving out of Chicago, not all of us are going to leave, let's face it. There'll still be, you know, a lot of us here. But as a lot of us are leaving, some people see the value of the city, the value of Chicago. We just don't, because we have messed up. And that goes back to the public schools. Most of us in the city of Chicago, and some of African Americans here in the suburbs, we do not value education. We just don't. It's hard raising children. I have 2 teenagers. Everybody knows raise a child hard. It's hard to raise children. And to make sure they do their homework and be good students and good citizens, that's tough. You got to have a values, you got to have a plan, and then you got to get lucky. You know what I'm saying? So good luck to Karen Lewis and Jean-Claude Brizard and Rahm Emanuel. Hopefully they can improve the schools, but they really can't improve the schools where they need to, because I don't know about the Latino community, but I know about the African American community. We don't value education because we own the low. That's Michael Jordan's old restaurant. I think he sold it. They're about to make it somebody else's restaurant. That's his old restaurant. Well, he was a part owner of the old restaurant. And United Center's beyond them trees over there. Clean neighborhoods, safe neighborhoods with excellent schools. Okay, now I'm on the real West Side, on Lake Street. They got a few apartments over here. I don't know if they CHA apartments. I think they are. I shouldn't say that, but the point is that the old Henry Horner homes used to be further down over here on Lake Street, but they tore them down years ago, and they tore a lot of the housing projects down to scatter Negroes and move them out. They didn't build one for one. For every one unit they tore down, they didn't build another unit. So I don't know where everybody went. I think nobody really knows. But the point is that they built some newer buildings which are really nice, and they're CHA buildings. Here they are. They're really, really nice, and they're public housing buildings, but they ain't let everybody come back. I think they're trying to limit the Pookie and Ray Rays. They let the Pookie mama come back. I mean, grandmama, his mama come back, but Pookie and Ray Ray can't come back. Well, they're not supposed to. If they find out Pookie and Ray Ray moved back, I think they kick mama and grandma out the house. Don't quote me on that now. And I really should roll past the stadium. I mean, I should have went over there and you can see the stadium. Man, I missed my turn. Should have turned on Walcott. Now I got to turn on Damon. Clean neighborhoods, safe neighborhoods with excellent schools. See, the projects used to be all up under the tracks, or by the tracks rather. Projects over here. Well, there's a new house. I shouldn't say projects. That sounds so negative. You know what I'm saying? But these are the newer units they built. They're really nice.